Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today I wanted to talk about seeking knowledge. I've learned a few things over the years, trying to learn Arabic and memorize Quran and learn about Islam. And I know many of you out there, you're trying to do the same thing. And I just wanted to bring forth some of my experiences, some of the things I've picked up on over the years, inshallah. Hopefully you could benefit. I want to bring forth an example. When I think back to middle school and high school, I remember I excelled the most in gym class. Gym class was a joke. It was easy. It was fun. I just played basketball with my friends. I loved to play basketball. Outside of school, I would go to the park and play basketball. Practice dribbling and shooting, and it was something that was natural that I loved to do. So alhamdulillah, I got good at it. And in school, if I had a class like gym class where that's all we did was just play basketball, it was easy. But I remember in gym class there were certain students who they weren't athletes. They hated gym. They didn't do well in gym. They would sit on the bleachers while the rest of us played basketball. And those students, even though they might not do well in gym class, they would be straight A students in math, in science, social studies, so on and so forth. And the reason I wanted to bring forth that example is because when it comes to being a student, for some people, it's just natural. Some people from a young age, they love reading. They love going to school. They get along with their teachers. When they're given an assignment, they're not just trying to pass. They're not even just trying to get an A. They're trying to do the best that they possibly can. And some of us, we have the opposite inclination. We hate going to school. We never read. And, some people are just different. The reason why this relates to seeking knowledge is because many Muslims, they either embrace Islam later on in their life or they want to get more religious and more educated, and they decide one day, even though they never used to read, never used to necessarily be good students, some people might even dropped out of school, we realize, you know what, I want to learn Arabic, I want to memorize Quran, I want to be a real serious student of knowledge. However, we have zero experience really being a good, serious student. I remember in middle school and high school, I took Spanish for like 2 or 3 years, and I was just trying to pass. I didn't pick up the language at all. I never worked at it, and I just completely forgot it. Whereas I had classmates who, they got so good at Spanish, they worked so hard that they were able to become a foreign exchange student and go to a country and go to college where they were learning in Spanish. And so for me to then reach a point in my life where it's like, okay, I want to learn Arabic, it's like I don't know what it's like to sit around studying for hours, reading books for hours, memorizing vocabulary. I've never done it before. And it's just like those students who used to sit on the bleachers in gym class, reaching a point in their lives where they realize, you know what, I've never been in shape. I've never learned how to play a sport. I want to get in shape. I want to work out. I want to exercise. I want to get good at basketball. They might look at LeBron James, for example, and think, yeah, that I want to be like him, but they have no idea, no clue regarding what it takes to become a good athlete, a good basketball player. And they might think that they might have a completely twisted idea about about the reality of going down that path. And I think a lot of us are the same way when it comes to seeking knowledge. Some of us don't realize that, just like, in a way, it's kind of common sense that if you want to become a good basketball player, what do you got to do? You need to eat right, exercise, work out, and practice. Practice dribbling, practice your jump shot. If you can, maybe get somebody who can coach you. And it's just consistency and practice. And the same goes for learning Arabic, for example. You want to learn Arabic, what do you got to do? You need to learn the alphabet. You need to learn how to read. You need to memorize vocabulary words. You need to, step by step reach a point where hopefully you can then start learning grammar. And, if you can get a tutor or somebody to help you out, that's great. But it's really just sort of common sense that this is what you need to do, and you need to be consistent. And just like if the person trying to become an athlete, if they're consistent, they're going to reach a point, inshallah, where they're in good shape. I mean, we've all personally know people that used to be, maybe 200 pounds, 300 pounds, like overweight, out of shape. And then they reach a point in their lives where they just transform themselves. They start exercising, going to the gym, counting their calories. And then before you know it, they're like 150 pounds, just muscle. These are things that we've seen. We know that it's possible. And the same goes for Arabic. There are people who never spoke another language, didn't know anything about Arabic or Islam, but they work hard for a couple years, and before you know it, they know Arabic. They memorize Quran. And the problem is that sometimes we think that depending on who we learn from or where we go to study, that it's suddenly going to just become so much more fun and easier. So, for example, people might think, oh, if I want to learn Arabic, I got to go to Medina. I got to go overseas and study. That's the only way. I would never discourage anyone from going overseas to learn Arabic or Islam, but that's sort of like somebody saying, oh, if I want to become a good athlete, I want to get good at basketball, I can only do it if I go to LeBron James's VIP summer camp. That's the only way. It's like, of course not. Like, of course, if you can go to LeBron James's summer camp, that's great. But even if you do end up going there, you know what's probably going to happen? You're just going to realize that he's going to be, depending on your level is going to be so low as it is. You're just going to be doing all those same basic things that you should have already been doing. Doing push-ups, running, getting in shape, practicing dribbling, practicing your jump shot. Don't think that you're going to be out there scrimmaging with the best of them because you haven't put in the work yet. And it's the same with Arabic. If you think that you can't learn until you go overseas, well, guess what? When you go overseas, what do you think you're going to be doing? You're going to be memorizing the alphabet. You're going to be memorizing vocabulary words. And you're also going to come across people from the West, from your same country, who are already fluent in Arabic. They already memorized the Quran. How did they do that? Well, they did it back home, back in your country. But instead of sitting around and waiting to go somewhere as if it was just all the information was just gonna fall into their brain, they worked hard. And that's just the reality of seeking knowledge that a lot of us don't realize. I mean, in the beginning, just like somebody who's out of shape and they've never played basketball, it's going to be difficult in the beginning. It might even feel like torture. It'll be out of shape, out of breath. It might hurt, physically hurt doing push-ups, and it's going to be difficult trying to eat right, trying to practice. But if you can get through it and you're consistent and you're disciplined, inshallah, you will definitely reach a point where it's easy. Not only is it easy, but it's enjoyable. In fact, it's probably going to be more enjoyable than if you just naturally were good at something. I mean, if you put in that work for years and you become in great shape, it's going to feel that much better when you're able to hit the winning bucket. You know, it's just going to feel that much better. And it's something that we can all accomplish, inshallah. It just takes discipline. So the same thing with Arabic. In the beginning, it might feel like torture. You've never just sat and read for hours. You've never done it before. You've never tried to memorize a page before, you know? I mean, growing up, I don't think I ever tried to like memorize a page. Like if I had a test, I'd maybe make flashcards and stuff like that, but these are things that we've never even done before. So it's gonna be difficult at first, but inshallah, if you're consistent and you practice and you make dua and you're striving for the sake of Allah, inshallah, things are gonna get easier. Allah will make it easy for you, and you will reach a point where you're successful, and it's gonna feel that much better. So I just wanted to make this video to give some people a reality check about what seeking knowledge is really about, and also a motivation. You gotta work hard. You have to work hard. It might not be fun. It might feel like torture sometimes, but if you're consistent, you don't give up, you're gonna get it, inshallah. Okay, may Allah make it easy for all of us. Jazakum Allahu khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.